An archive of all the times we kissed. File 1. Not one detail is forgettable about the first moment I let my lips land on the runway that is yours. Your lips felt nothing short of a hazy dream I tried so hard to wake up from. You were plump, pliant, and polished around the edges because you drank too little water. It swept me off my feet. I had to say thank you because you bought me my favorite banana milk, but I knew I blurted it out looking like an idiot because you gave me my first kiss. The first kiss that is mine as much as it is yours. Something about it still makes my chest grow rigid in its limited confines. We were 16 and naive, but not too foolish to refrain ourselves from giving into what we thought was love. I was heartbroken that afternoon, with my mother not making it to my recognition day. No one hung my medal for me, but I looked at you smile at me from where you were sitting in the crowd and your eyes gleamed with pride. I stood a little taller, felt wiser than I could ever become. We thought it was love then, and I still think it is. File 48. We passed our dream universities, with yours in a city and mine in another. The night we learned the news, our own families rejoiced for us, giving us our much-deserved praises. But you ran to my house at the 19th Street Pano wing, knocked at the window of my bedroom at midnight. You were sweating all over, still in your uniform, and all you wanted was for me to hold you in my arms. So hold you in my arms I did. You were so gentle, so light in my embrace, like every bone in your limp body was breakable by the slightest movement. The rest of the night was quiet. I think it was the first time I heard you speak nothing but repressed sobs, with eyelids that shuddered with utter worry that I wish I could kiss it all away. I am always going to be yours, and always you have me. Is that why you were so worried? That the distance would cut the strings that bound us together? Silly. I was first to kiss you this time. No strawberries. Just the most honest promise of a kiss I could possibly give you in between your crying. That's when I knew, I guess, that your pain was mine too, and that I'd be willing to hold your hand through all of it. File 521. A glimmer of hope stretched across fields of newly cut grass with sunflowers blossoming on the sides. We were now fresh graduates, you and I. A lifetime went by and we've come a long way. The oblivious 16-year-olds were no longer in the body of those wearing graduation cups and smart suits. We had our dreams to aim for and a whole life to unravel before it passes us by. And you weren't sure if your dream still had room for one more. So you gave me a kiss of goodbye. I never wanted to accept it, but I braved myself to for one last time. You were my dream. You were in all of mine. File 522. We accidentally rode the subway train going home at the same time. I wonder how far the generosity of the universe could span for flawed souls like you and I. We offered each other a full minute to be surprised, and then you gave me a solemn greeting the second time of our ascent. I held onto the metal railing with all force left in me still because my knees gave up. You still looked as bright and perfect as I remember. You walked me home. We smiled. We laughed. We nudged at each other like the 16-year-olds we once were. And when I asked you if you wanted to come in, your phone flashed due to a text notification, and your wallpaper signified that you already belonged to someone else. I still waited for you to answer though, with no ill intentions, only for my lungs to be ripped apart when you replied, maybe another time. You granted my cheek a chaste, considerate kiss before you turned your back to me and walked away. In those little fleeting seconds, I remember begging the wind to send you my message, a plea for you to turn around again, just once. A smile before you completely fade away, perhaps. File 523. I never thought I'd receive a 523rd kiss, at least not from you. But it did happen, after a common friend's wedding in a hotel room I booked for the night. It did not occur to me that adults with rising, stable careers were capable of making such hideous justification to blame it on alcohol. I wanted it, and you did too. And the vodka was a lame excuse to taste your lips once more. 3 years had passed since File 522, but you still perplex me with your tactics. Those eyes that kill, Fingers so slick and sculpted I wanted to squeeze them in mine. A face so beautiful that it felt insulting to clarify in this dim light. I thought it was impossible to experience a first kiss the second time around. I wasn't sure if I was still kissing the same person I did when I was 16. It now tasted like warmth on a summer day, with my skin burning like charcoal every time I savored the salt in your teeth. I swore I heard waves hit the shore as your tongue slid through your curtained lips to meet mine. It was much more eager this time around. It felt certain in ways more than one. We knew where to land our hands on, knew where to angle our faces the right direction. Our lips took their time to drive back home, with our wet tongues slipping into spaces where they're meant to. It was a long time coming, but I made it home. And so did you.